Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of No Huddle with Zach Arndt. Today we're going to be giving a quick preview for the defending Big Ten champions, the Michigan Wolverines, looking ahead to the 2022 college football season, led by head coach Jim Harbaugh in his 8th season, new offensive coordinators Matt Weiss and Sharon Moore, defensive coordinator Jesse Minter, some key players returning. For Michigan, they have Cade Mcnamara, the quarterback. He threw for 2,500 yards and 15 touchdowns a season ago. Blake Corum, the superstar running back. A year ago, he ran for 952 rushing yards and 11 touchdowns. They have Mazi Smith, the big defensive tackle, one of the best run stoppers in the Big Ten. Last season, he was more of a pass rusher than ever before, and he definitely provided in that category. Some key losses, there were some big ones. They lost Aiden Hutchinson, the Heisman Trophy finalist. He had 14 sacks, which led the Big Ten. Also, outside linebacker David Ajabo, one of the best athletes in college football last season. They lose safety Daxton Hill, one of the better safeties in recent memory at Michigan. He usually guarded the slot safety. I know against Ohio State he was down in the box a lot, guarding running backs, tight ends, wide receivers, instead of being back in the backfield. Looking at the 2022 recruiting class, they went out and got some absolute studs. They got 5-star corner Will Johnson. They got safety Keon Sabb out of IMG Academy. Darius Clemens, who's built like DK Metcalf, the big wide receiver out of Portland. They got Derek Moore out of Baltimore, Maryland, superstar D lineman. They got one of the more underrated safeties as well, and Zeke Berry out of Concord, California. Looking at the depth chart for 2022, Cornelius Johnson and Ronnie Bell at wide receiver. Remember Ronnie Bell, he got hurt last year. I think it was in the first game. Hopefully he has a bounce back season. He's definitely due for one, and I expect him to have a big year. Roman Wilson, AJ Henning, and Andrew Anthony make out the receiving core. Offensive line, you have Ryan Hayes, Trevor Keegan, Zach Zinter returning. This group, along with Trent Jones and Olusegun Olutami, this is going to be one of the best offensive lines in the country without a doubt. Probably top 3. By the end of the season, they might be just the best offensive line. At tight end, they return Eric All and Luke Schumacher, both guys who played a lot last season. As I mentioned, Cade Mcnamara is returning the starting quarterback last year, and J.J. McCarthy as well. This is probably going to be the biggest quarterback battle in fall camp across the country. Cade Mcnamara, he led Michigan to the playoff last year. But from a raw talent standpoint, I think J.J. McCarthy has the edge. Jim Harbaugh has a big decision to make. Huge impact decision here. Personally, I would go J.J. McCarthy. He's a younger guy. He's going to be there another year after. He can be there for up to 2 more years, maybe 3 if he chooses. But just from a talent standpoint, if he's ready, I'm pulling the trigger on the young guy. Nothing against Cade Mcnamara. He had a great year last year, obviously. 2,500 yards, 15 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. With that being said, I'm sure they want to open up the passing game. You lose Hassan Haskins, the running back. You also lose offensive coordinator Josh Gaddis, who was huge behind the success that Michigan had in 2021. So personally, I would go J.J. McCarthy in that battle. The running back room is loaded once again for Michigan. They have Blake Corum, one of the best running backs in college football, along with the former 5-star running back Donovan Edwards, who's going into his sophomore season. One of the most lethal receivers out of the backfield in all of college football, Donovan Edwards. When you're watching Michigan this year, keep an eye on number 7. Looking at defense, they have Mike Morris, Mazi Smith, Chris Jenkins, and Taylor Upshaw along the defensive line. A lot of production gone from last year. Some of these guys are going to have to step up. They have a lot of senior leadership. Also some juniors in this defense. Right now, I only have them starting 1 sophomore, and that's Junior Colson, the linebacker who started some games last season. In the backfield, at corner, G-Man Green, the senior, DJ Turner, also a senior. I have them starting. Other linebackers, you have Nikhil Hill Green. Michigan, I think they only have 2 linebackers play at a time in 2022. At safety, you have Rod Moore, RJ Moulton, Makari Page, and Quentin Johnson. A lot of guys to choose from back there. You also have the freshman Keon Sabb out of IMG. very talented. If he's ready, I expect him to be on the field. So looking at some team stats. Offensive efficiency, Michigan ranked 25th. Defensive efficiency, they were 23rd. Offensive explosive plays, 23rd ranked. That was a big jump up from Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan staff last year. Defensive explosive plays allowed, they ranked 15th. One of the better defenses in college football last year. Finishing drives, they ranked 13th in college football. That was also a big improvement in 2021. Michigan, years past, struggled to score in the red zone. That could change the outcome of many different games. +2 turnover margin last year, which was good for 60th ranked. On offense, they averaged 36 points per game, which was good for 16th in the country. They also averaged 440 yards per game, which was good for 25th. Scoring defense, they had the 8th best scoring defense at 17 points per game. They had the 27th best rushing defense at 126 yards per game. Total yards allowed, they ranked 20th at 330. Those stats were good for a 12-2 record in 2021, 8-1 in the Big Ten. They went to the playoff. They lost 34-11 to the Georgia Bulldogs, the eventual national champions. Looking ahead to 2022, I have the Michigan Wolverines going 10-2 this year. I'm very high on the staff that Jim Harbaugh put together. I know they lost some guys. I'm confident in the quarterback. Either way, either it's Cade Mcnamara or J.J. McCarthy, I'm confident in either one. The offensive line's back. You get Ronnie Bell at wide receiver. Tight ends returning, one of the best offensive lines in college football. It's Michigan. They recruit well on the defensive side of the ball, so they should be able to replace the guys that they lost. Maybe not produce like they did, but they'll be able to replace them and still have a stable defense. So they start the season with Colorado State and Hawaii. I think they'll win those games. UConn, that's a win. Maryland, also a win. Very tough game at Iowa. That's going to probably be one of the closer games on Michigan's schedule. I think they'll win that game, though. At Indiana, easy win. Penn State, Michigan's home for this game. If it was at Penn State, I might change my mind, but I think Michigan State's going to defend home turf here. Michigan State, I think they'll lose this game. It is at Michigan, but I think Mel Tucker is going to get them again this year. Last year, if you remember, Michigan was up big. Missed call. I forget what point in the game that was in or at, but I think Michigan State's going to get them again this season. At Rutgers, I have them winning that as well. Nebraska, Scott Frost and company coming to the big house. I think Michigan's going to win there. Illinois, that should be an easy win right before the biggest game of the season. At Ohio State, many people think this will be a blowout this year. I'm not one of those people. With that said, I don't think Michigan will win back-to-back years. I think Ohio State's going to defend the horseshoe, get the win this year. Michigan, I have them going 10-2. Jim Harbaugh going into year 8 up at Michigan. You know, the expectations are always high for this program, one of the best programs of all time. The tradition's very high. So a 10-2 season should be nothing Michigan fans should be upset about. That's going to do it for today's video, guys. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I hope you all have a great day. I'll catch you in the next one.